I am, just for the sake of practice, going to create a quiz also, because you can do assessments and quizzes and assignments. I am planning to use quizzes for the more summative assessments and assignments for the ones that I don't want to be in the grade book. At least that's my plan. We'll see how that works. But quiz name, uh, coloring book before. And this is just about where it falls in the system. And this is just about the way it looks, and you can edit that later. Item. Again, once I've created the assignment, I'll just publish it and I'll go edit it. And I can come in and notice that unlike before, there's not a rubric thing here. If I click here, oh look, there's the show rubric. So I'm going to go in as before. I'm going to just change this to an ungraded survey to show you what I found out a little bit earlier. I am going to save that. And because this was an ungraded survey, notice that when I slide here, there are no longer any rubrics to assess. So I'm going to come back in, because this was just something that I was playing around with this morning. And nope, not practice quiz. Now that it is a graded quiz, and I save, add a due date, save. Now that it is a graded quiz, I can do the same thing as before. I will add a rubric, and I will name the rubric. This is so that when the students see it in their grade book, they know where it's coming from. Coloring book seems to me more like a model, so we'll use model for that one. I will remove points and delete the old. So again, I've added mine. We don't have points. And again, this is pretty darn important, naming the rubric. And I will get out of that. I will not show you what's going on here in a second, but I'm going to go take these quizzes and assignments by the students. I did forget to mention that when you are creating this, clearly the questions should be written. I forgot to write the questions. I typically make it an essay question so that I'm giving a more valid opportunity for assessment. I typically call it 0 points, but that's kind of a preference thing. The issue that came up that I don't have an answer to is, can this be done in new quizzes? In classic quizzes, it's working miraculously. In new quizzes, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine, but you don't have SpeedGrader, which seems like it could be a coloring book. Take these. Okay, so I went into student view and pretended that I was the student. So test student has now taken both of these assessments. And I'm just going to jump in to take a peek at the title is important somewhere. Notice that I have 0 out of 1 submissions graded. So I'm going to jump to SpeedGrader and I'm going to grade these submissions. Some super cool things about SpeedGrader worth talking about. In options, I am grading by submission status. So as I'm clicking through, I am only looking at the students who have turned in something. And I'm hiding students' names because I have implicit bias. I'd like to remove that when possible. And this really helps me to I've tried to figure out which kid is which kid, and I've been way off, which is, I guess, the hope. And I will continue on in the next video.